conversation. Is this a solving problems conversation, or is this an empathy conversation? And she would actually be honest. She'd be like, okay, no, I just want you to hear me right now. Okay, great. Now I can be in that mode.
Great communication skills, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. So that's one thing that again, we're very honest with one another, and we're very open with one another about, things that are going well, things that aren't going well. And so we can fix that sort of stuff. If you can do that, you'll have an amazing and long lasting marriage.
We're very good at that.
That's great. I mean, because it's when you let things build up and build up and build up that things start to explode.
You get resentment. And I've learned just from like experiences with friends or relationships, sometimes we paint out an image that's not true. Like we build it up so much in our hearts that when we bring it up and we blow up, they're like, nah, dude, that's not even what I meant. And this whole time you could have just asked a question instead of building up and then exploding.
You definitely also get invested in your picture of who you are. So for me, my big problem in life is that I tend to be a person who takes on things. Like I just take on at work, I'll just take on more. At home, I'll take on more. And so my innate inclination is that if there's a problem at home, instead of asking my wife which one of us should handle it or negotiating that in front, I'll just say, fine, I'll do it. And then you start to get resentful because like, okay, I'm doing this much stuff and I'm really busy and I'm getting angry. It's like, that's not her fault. That's my fault for not having communicated with her in the first place what I need and what would be good for both of us to cooperate in and divvying up the tasks. Whereas my kind of own self-perception is very much into like, okay, well, there's a problem, mine, I got it. And again, honesty is a better policy than that, as it turns out.
Hey there, you're probably wondering, yo, George, where can I get that sweet shirt? Easy, go to theheartofdavid.co and let's make America fear God again.
It's great that you're able to reflect on yourself and, know that about yourself and be honest about it, and so you can get to the problem. And how do you feel like you got to that conclusion? Like, what was it? How did you?
I mean, there'd be times where, like, for 5 months, everything would be fine, and I'd, kind of gradually just I find myself getting more and more irritable, just really, really irritable, and then eventually I just kind of go off, and I'd be like, "Why are you going off?" Like, because there's no indicator, right? You can't really see a building; it just kind of goes off, and I'd be like, "Well, there's just too much on me." And she's like, "Well, if there's too much, why don't you just tell me that, and we'll fix the problem instead of you just building that up in your mind and not wanting to offend me, not wanting to, because I'll take it on in the belief that." She is that I'm doing something for her, which she's not doing anything for me. Like I'll handle more things. I'd rather that you not feel irritated and have that sort of volcanic buildup. And I think that's not an uncommon thing for guys. I think guys tend to do that. We tend to go silent. We tend to just ingest all of the stress and use it as fuel. And that's not a great solution. You have to negotiate that better.
You were mentioning that when you were growing up, you have a very boring life because you guys made great decisions, and in your home there wasn't any obstacles you had to overcome. So where did you grow the skill sets of debating and standing up for what you believe in and literally running to the obstacles, even though you didn't have any?
Yeah, so I mean, when I say there are no obstacles, I mean no self-created obstacles is what I would say. So there are obviously obstacles that you experience in life. So when I was growing up, for example, my mom was the breadwinner. She was out making money. My dad was the one who was at home. That obviously causes certain stresses at home, not between my parents, but just because my dad wanted to make more money, and he wasn't making a lot. He was a musician, not a famous way to make a lot of money.
Not like you.
Yeah, well, I've done well. But yeah,
showed your dad what's up, huh?
No,
we'll get to that later.
My dad and I are super tight. My dad's a wonderful person, but when you go into music in LA, that is a lottery ticket, and the chances that you're going to be the one guy who makes a lot of money as opposed to you're going to be the guy who doesn't, bad odds. And so that teaches you lessons. Like, okay, when I'm making an educational plan, I should have a fallback position. And so when I was younger, I was a pretty virtuosic violinist. I didn't go that direction. And I didn't go that direction.
You play the violin?
Yeah. So I didn't go that direction specifically because I was like, okay, well, I don't see a trajectory here. Okay, maybe I'm the one guy who makes it, or maybe I'm the one of 10,000 people who is, good enough to be good, but not good enough to be the best.
Yeah.
And so maybe I should go to law school. Right? Making plans.
That's a crazy jump, by the way, dude.
I mean,
that's a crazy jump. When you found out you're going to go to law school, was it very sad music on the violins?
I mean, honestly, the big jump away from music happened when I was in college. So I started college when I was 16 at UCLA. And I had, at the time, thought that I was going to double major in music and genetic science, actually. And I walked on campus and I saw an editorial in the school newspaper that was comparing Ariel Sharon, then the Prime Minister of Israel, to Adolf Eichmann, the Nazi. And I walked into the editorial office and I said, I'd like to write a counter to this because that's ridiculous. And that turned into like a regular column. And by the time I was 20, I had a published book. I had a syndicated column when I was 17. So like things just take radically different paths. But yeah, again, I think
so. This path chose you. You didn't really choose it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that looking for opportunity and then taking advantage of the opportunities that come in front of you. You have to be aggressive about the opportunities that present themselves. But as far as adversity, I mean, they're just things that happen in life, and you either